Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy.
What are you doing with my wife?
It's not what it looks like.
Let's
No.
sip.
You get it all here on the Love Show.
Active FM, Christ music is hot music, and radio has never been better. This is Jaemii and Mlindeni, but I am definitely not alone.
Yeah, you and Mlindeni is long awaited.
And today's topic is very spicy. Mlindeni, like, there's something I've got to tell you. You know, I always have the juice. I always have the things. I need to tell you the spicy stories. Yes. So today's topic is reality and fantasy. There's like a reality of love, but then there's a fantasy. Mlindeni, like, tell us more.
Look, for me, it's all about the imagination. So obviously most people, when they hear fantasy, they think of, the sexual parts and whatever. No. Sometimes fantasy can be pure and just clean. You just imagine yourself in your dream house with your partner, the person you're dating, or whoever that you are trying to get to know better, or that you're vibing with, and you're just thinking in your head, like, this relationship could be perfect. We could have roses every day. I could give her flowers. I could buy her strawberries. I mean, she could buy me Nike shoes every day or whatever. Every month she could give me this.
I just heard I could bring her roses. I could get her strawberries. Then I heard you could get Nike shoes. Do you know how much Nikes cost? Those things cost an arm and a leg. That's a child's college education at some point in time.
But that's the thing, Jaemii. Like, look, we're living in a time where things are now different, like where women actually spoil guys.
Okay,
as
but
well.
then
So
why are
it's
you
like,
buying me
whoa,
strawberries?
this
I
is
also
nice.
want Nikes. I want some J's, as a matter of fact.
Whatever you like, you can get it. So it's like, we just fantasize with the whole thing of gifting each other, like things are just perfect. Everything is just good. As like we see in Hollywood. Unfortunately, it's not going to be like that. Most of you have seen Bollywood movies. They are too dramatic, though, at some point, because it's just like, okay, the relationships are not that deep. No one is going to be flying across the dinner table to fight their mother-in-law or do anything like that. But that is part of the reality, that life is never going to be perfect. We can imagine things. We can imagine having 3 cars, 3 kids, each of us having our own car and a garage to park our cars in and everything. But look, reality kicks in. And you need to put in the hard work, and that's just how it is.
Yeah, the fantasy is fun because you just have to think about it. It doesn't take much effort in order for you to achieve it. But, man, it's work. Just by the way, if you are hearing the background noise where I am right now, it's because it's Kinshasa, man. Kinshasa is never quiet. Welcome to Africa. But
But
man.
look, Jaemii, look. Okay. Before you tell us your story, right? Like, I just want to say, look, probably like one of my wilder fantasies would be the fact that, like, I was just dreaming that I would have a double-story house at the age of like 21 or something, and that was like, it never happened, like, I'm past 21. I'm still in my early 20s, but past 21. And I'm like, I could have had a car, I could have had this, I could have had a wife, with blonde hair and all that. I told you I have this thing about blonde-haired women. And I'm just like, whoa, I was just imagining things, like, it's not really going to happen. I mean, at 21, it's not that easy to get a house. You could. I mean, that's going to be a lot of work, but in Africa, it's kind of one of those things where, like, nah, it's not going to happen. If you're overseas, it is most likely going to happen.
Yeah. Well, I don't think that overseas is just more likely to happen. I think at 21, listen, you actually are not that old. You're still wet behind the ears. I don't know why we think 21 is something. 21 is nothing. Like, you really aren't. I don't know why you would think that you are like old enough to be able to do stuff, or not old enough to be able to do stuff, but that you'd be able to stand on your own financially independent. Now, it does happen that some people are able to make it to that level, but like, I don't believe that they just make it there magically. There's obviously a lot of hard work, and also understanding that the way they grew up with their parents and so on, they learned something from somewhere. They learned their entrepreneurship somewhere. They learned their abilities or skills from somewhere, whether it's in sports programming, whether it's in cooking. I mean, I know a girl who's a millionaire at 19. Well, I don't know her. I know about her. through selling slime. Now she learned how to sell slime, but all the skills that she learned about being entrepreneurial and running a business, she didn't pick up out of the air. She learned it from somewhere. So those kinds of things are things we also need to take into consideration before we compare ourselves with people who are making millions at 19, 20, 21, 22. Some of them are reality TV stars. But remember, like, for example, if we look at the Kardashians, which to an extent, I respect. Obviously, there's stuff about their lifestyle that I'm just like, hey, from a Christian perspective, I'm like, But I mean, these ladies are doing it in business. They're doing it in business, but they've had to be prepared for that. You don't just wake up one day and have an idea and it works. You know?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Well, we've got a jam for you. This is the BWB Your Love Never Fails mix. Check this out.
Nothing can separate. Nothing can separate. Even if we ran away, your love never fails. I know I still make mistakes, but you have the mercy for me every day. Your love never fails. 'Cause you stay the same in elke stem. You stay the same through the ages. Your love never changes. There may be pain in the night, but joy comes in the morning. And when the oceans rage, I don't have to be afraid, because I know that you love me. Your love never fails. Oké, hier komt het gedeelte dat we zijn liefde gaan vieren met elkaar. We gaan naar de grond met elkaar. Iedereen van voor naar achter, zo laag als je kan. Zo laag als je kan. Jongeren dachten dat hij gewoon heel goed in. Ik denk dat we nog een stapje harder kunnen. We gaan wel doorzingen met deze waarheid. The wind is strong and the water's deep. Here we go. The wind is strong and the water's deep. I'm not alone here in these open seas. Your love never fails. Chasm is far too wide. I never thought I'd reach the other side. 'Cause your love never fails. You stay the same, every step. You stay the same through the ages. Your love never changes. There may be pain in the night, but joy comes in the morning. When the shadows Jullie waren geweldig, jongens. Goed gezongen.
That was the BWB remix, Your Love Never fails. You heard it first right here on Active FM, and you're listening to Jaemii Musadi, but I'm not alone.
Yeah, with Mlindeni, the long-awaited. And Jaemii, I'm still listening. And I'm hoping you're going to tell me your juicy story. You know, like, I'm always ready. When Jaemii says it's story time, I feel like it's one of those times, you know, in Sunday school, like, especially if you grew up in a Christian church, there's always the time where, like, in Sunday school, there's story time. You need to listen, pay attention, bring your chair forward to the teacher and just pay attention. That is just me right now.
When I was in primary school, a very fond memory of my upbringing in South Africa was that every classroom had this big carpet towards the front of the classroom, and you were not allowed to walk on the carpet. Now, mind you, this carpet always had to have like a special color. It was never just it was often a bright color, like an orange or red, like green. It was never like a black carpet or anything like that. It was like a special carpet, and we honored the carpet. All the kids in the class honored the carpet, and we all knew not to walk on the carpet because that was the story time carpet. So we would have times in our classes where, like, maybe once a week, our teachers would tell us or read us a story, and so she would then come, and then what would happen is that she'd call us all and say, okay guys, I'm gonna do story time. Oh, it was the best. We'd all sit next to each other on the carpet and listen to the story, and the best was when the teachers were very interactive. I loved that. Story times, man. You know what,
always the best.
Maybe that's why I get my passion from telling stories. Okay, so let me tell you the story. So, like, the other day, I was minding my own business, you know, like just minding my own business. I was up on Facebook, I was scrolling a little bit because I saw this one video, this funny video of this guy who does, like, he imitates Bollywood scenes, but he was hilarious. Oh my gosh, he makes me laugh. So I was watching this video, and then the next video that came up after that was, I can't remember, I think it was something by Tiffany Haddish. One of those things she does with kids. Okay. And then the video that came after that, I was actually quite surprised because I saw the title and it was, I forgot the name, it was Corny Sex Dolls. I was just like, for a moment there, oh my gosh, what? And then I thought, this video is only like 3 minutes long. I'd like to actually see what is happening here. What exactly is going on with all these dolls? So I went and I watched the video. Firstly, thankfully, the video was not at all like graphic or gory or anything like that. There wasn't any. So they actually have a business where they have sex dolls. They have these dolls that feel like natural skin. They don't look natural though, because you can see this thing is a doll. And then you can hire them for a lot of money, and then they'll bring the doll to your house. They don't even have to see you. You just pay, and the doll will come to your house, and they will set up the doll where you want it. They have dolls in different colors and sizes, and they also have like a high school, not a high school student, a college student doll, a gothic doll, a this doll, a mom doll, and people actually go, they hire these dolls, and then they, you know, do the most, you know, with the doll.
Wow.
And not a real person.
Yeah, so
it's actually a thing where people hire out dolls for lots of money to sleep with the dolls. It's a serious thing. I was just like, wow, I never knew that that's I knew about it. I just didn't know that's even a business. Like, it was a business. And they showed what their thing was that they showed how they clean the dolls. Like, they clean the dolls like extremely, extremely well. They say that a doll is actually cleaner than a human. So they wash the doll, and then they like do all that micro scanning stuff to check for any like bacteria, and then they put something else on the doll, like sanitize, and then they check for the microbacteria under a different UV light. So they do the most to clean up the doll. But I was just shocked at the fact that that's actually a thing that you clean up, you know, that like, but I mean, look, like, is it that difficult for someone to actually approach a lady and just like start dating and then get married and then sleep with the person? You know, don't just, I don't know, it feels so weird for me, honestly, like for a person to say I'd actually buy a doll or actually buy someone on the streets just to sleep with them. It's like, no, that is just bad. Well, to be honest, it is actually that difficult because, I mean, in today's day and age, not just everyone is in the same mindset as you. And there are also people who experience I don't know if I can call it personality difficulties, but like extreme social anxiety, and they really, really battle to connect. So for them, it's like, it's really that difficult. But for me, the solution is not to go and to get a doll. For me, the solution is to deal with the personality or the issues that you have, whether it's social anxiety, whether it's, like you can't speak to people. It's better to rather deal with those things, because by satisfying your, in inverted commas, needs this way, it doesn't actually fix the problem. What we actually need to do is to get to God in order to heal what's missing and what's broken inside of us, because people are not meant for solitude. I mean, we saw what happened when confinement started, or let me call it lockdowns. When lockdowns started, the suicide rates skyrocketed, because we are not made to be on our own. We are not made to be, alone. No man is an island, and no man is supposed to be an island. And so if it's going wrong in your area of your life where, you can't actually speak to people, or you find it that difficult, then the answer is not to go and get a doll, because understand that even if you did get a doll, it might temporarily solve the sexual problem, but it does as well leave you a problem in the rest of your life. Like, what about having a social life? What about having friends? How do you deal with family? What's going to happen one day when you're old and gray and you're on your own still, because you didn't have a partner and you didn't have kids and you didn't have family? What then do you do? So those things, for me, those things really matter.
And that's the thing. Look, okay, so let's just say, fine, you keep up that lifestyle till you're old. Now, you've never built that whole emotional stage where, like, you can confide in someone. Now you're so secretive about everything. Remember that most people that have these dolls, I've seen, like, even in movies, the way they're portrayed, because some movies, okay, yes, they do research and figure out why people do these things, and they are based on true events, so that a person is kind of like insecure about it. Like, look, I've got a doll. When my family comes over, I'm going to hide this thing. When my girlfriend comes over, I'm going to hide this thing, because deep down the person knows that it is not natural. It's not normal. It's not how God made it to be, because now you're lonely and struggling. Imagine if you're depressed, who are you going to talk to? The dog cannot help you. If you need someone to cook for you, or something is wrong, like, your body's not functioning that well, no one can help you because you've got this doll. And like you said, you want to have kids. Now your generation just ends with you, because you just want to satisfy your needs. You just want to have this fantasy with a doll, and you're probably imagining it as being someone else, but that is just awkward and ungodly as well. It's just like, I don't know. Look, people might say there's the perks online of saying that you're not going to get sick. Yeah, fair enough. You're not going to get sick because it's a doll. It's not like sleeping with a human. But at the same time, now your mind is going to be trained and fixated on that thing, that everything that is not real turns you on. Imagine just being turned on by a doll. That's just, I don't know, that feels awkward for me.
Ew.
It's just really awkward. And I don't think it's ever going to satisfy you as much as a human being will.
Another thing is movies, books, and so on, because they also create like an ulterior reality in our heads. But to be honest, movies were meant to be entertaining. Obviously, at some point we start using them for awareness and so on, but they initially were aimed at being entertaining. They're not supposed to be, realistic. That's why we've got the Avengers, which, by the way, I love. Marvel is doing the most. Marvel does the most. Yeah.
Marvel is good. They know how to do their thing.
They do.
They never disappoint.
You're a Marvel fan, right? Not a DC fan.
Look, I love DC animation, but when it comes to Marvel films, I'm just like, Marvel is good, but DC animation is always good.
Okay, but then you can't be. This is like animation. A lukewarm Christian. You pick a side, either on Marvel side or you go DC. So Mlindeni, where do you stand?
Oh my God, this is difficult.
No, there's no difficult nothing. You tell us where you stand now.
I'm gonna take DC.
You what?
I'm taking DC.
I can't believe
I have to, Jaemii. Look,
you're not my
I love
friend
their
anymore.
Animation. Like, it's so good.
You're not my friend anymore.
It's so good.
you really know you're not my friend anymore.
But look,
I don't know how I'm gonna keep recording with you.
Jaemii, I had to pick the side.
Oh my goodness. Well, anyway, like, I know the movies and stuff do give us like unrealistic, but keep in mind when you're watching a movie, especially romance movies, that's not how life goes. This thing was scripted. It was written by someone, and it's meant to satisfy a fantasy or a I don't know, the future you would like to see. How you would like to see things happen, where everything eventually just works out perfectly. And they always add a little bit of drama in there, just to keep you around. But honestly, that's not how things work.
Yeah, it's not. It's not. I mean, like I said, with the Bollywood films, no one is gonna fight with their mother-in-law across the table or start flying, throwing knives at each other and plates. Not. I look. Okay, Jamie. Look, it could happen, but not in the way they depict it. I mean, you cannot fly across the table. Nobody can fly in this world. That is just a lie.
No one can
I've
fly.
never seen anyone flying. The only person
You've never
that you
seen
can
anyone
really
fly.
say did something that was so spectacular was Jesus when he walked on water. That was it. But just
Okay.
flying, like, no.
When you say, my friend, when you say no one can fly, I beg to differ. My friends who are listening to this recording right now are laughing because they know what I mean when I say I beg to differ.
So what? Have you
Before I
done something
explain-
like that then?
Before I explain, don't ask questions you don't answers to. Before I explain further, we've got a jam. What are we listening to?
Yeah, this is Devil's Work Response, Bizzle. Check this out.
Yeah.
Joiner, I hear you going through some things and it's getting tough, but I see you got my word with you. It's a shame how the pain only thing make you pick it up. And you complain when it rains just once, but I never hear thanks for that 100 days with the sun. Could've ran to me first, ran to the drink first, and now I gotta have this conversation with you when you drunk. See, before I even start addressing it, I don't owe you any answers, so don't get used to it. But I feel like you being genuine. But the truth is you can't handle the truth, Lucas. But you kept it a buck and I love that. If I kept it a buck back, could you take what you stepping in? I know it's other folk that feel like you. So first thing I'ma do is let you know who you questioning. I am the God who created the earth. I knew you start feeling yourself, so I made you from dirt. Ain't no battery in your body, so who making it work? I made the earth perfect, it's y'all making it worse. Who put the seed in the fruit, put the fruit in the tree, and that tree in another little seed but me? Then turn around and made you the same way after that. For you was in your daddy's sack and his daddy's sack. I am the one that put breath in your lungs and created the same mind that you question me from. You were lost, I'm the way, I'm the potter, you the clay, and now the clay got something to say. Okay, you can never check me, so check this. Your standard for right and wrong is me. I am the checklist, I am right. Wrong is whatever you're left with. I am life, you without me is what death is. I am the judge, you answer me. If I throw lightning, who throws it back at me? Nobody. And if all this falls, who can stand but me? You go to the cross for you cross-examine me. You say I made mistakes, you mistaken me. You made gods out of men who were clay to me. You put lives over lives that you ain't create, then fill away cause all flesh the same to me. What if some of the people you naming to me wasn't really everything that you made them to be? Or worse, what if they are and I take them with me? Are you telling me it's any better place they could be? Either way, you don't know, you just gotta push through. Cause while you over here saying what I should do, somebody lost somebody last week and came at me the same way saying I should've took you. You asked why the good die young, but the truth is none of y'all are good, not one. The only one ever been good's my son. So to answer your question, the good died once. Jesus. What if I told you to choose when your mom died? You think you could choose when your mom died? If you put it off 20 years away, 20 years later when that day came, would you not cry? You couldn't be God, you were not I. My ways are not yours, your thoughts are not mine. You can't even deal with the pressure of your own life when you're not high. Try looking in the God mind. See, I love them more than you ever did, more than you ever could. Death doesn't lessen it. Let my own son meet death as the evidence. And I love them all, rap star to the president. The real question is, what you living like? If I punish every sin, would you live tonight? So how you get mad when I get them other folks same chances I give you to get it right? You got a son that one day will be a man. You expect him to trust you and he don't understand or even know what you up to. Cause he knows that you love him, right? So trust that I love you.
That was Devil's Work Response by Bizzle. And like that song, just the title of the song is so appropriate for what I'm about to explain. So it's an inside joke.
Let's hear this.
But it might be a bad joke, okay? But like it's an inside joke. Just like between me and my friends, we catch the joke, okay? I don't know if I tell it now. You know when you tell a joke the second time, I am not sure that it's going to be funny if I tell the joke the second time. But let me try and explain. So I used to stay with one of my friends, Nolene, right? And that's Nozzy from the crime show with Danielle. And what happened one day was that, like, I think I was restless. So I woke up to go get water, then I woke up to go and use the bathroom, and then like I was just pretty restless. And I think she woke up because we were sharing the room at the time. She woke up, and when she turned, I wasn't in bed or something along those lines, something like that. Then in the morning, when she woke up, there was 2 brooms outside our room door, which is unusual because we normally keep the brooms in the kitchen, but I'm sure like I swept and I left the brooms there instead of leaving them in the kitchen. So if you're putting 2 and 2 together, someone's not sleeping and others brooms. So
oh wow, okay.
The joke then became that no, we would then, I don't know how to put it. So if anything strange happened, I would say, oh no, it's because you're a witch anyway. I'm not surprised. You know, like if she cooks super quick, like she makes like a really good meal in like 10 minutes, okay, maybe not 10 minutes, but like 20 minutes and like it's done. Then I'd be like, well, I'm not surprised. Witches, I'm sure, can just do the thing. So that was it became it's an inside joke though. So we'd always accuse each other of, but yes, it's an inside joke. So hence the flying and the brooms were like, no. Other times, like, if she wanted me to get to her quickly, I'd ask if she expects me to fly, and she'd be like, yeah, use your broom, you know? And then other times, like, we threaten each other like that, like, do you want me to come there on my broom? You know, like, it was, but it's an inside joke. My friends who are listening to this right now are cracking, they're laughing because they get the joke. So I hope Back to FM guys get the joke. It might be a bad joke, but it's an inside joke. It's an inside joke, yeah. Yeah, man.
No, it's a good one. It's a good one. But look, Jaemii, let's talk on the perspective of realism. Like, reality kicks in, and the only thing that we can honestly advise, instead of like, you know, being the person that's fixated on films and all they should do is just like, you know, imagine things happening. And okay, for people like me that overthink, where we have these scenarios in our heads and we just like, probably this person is doing this and I'm going to do that, and we calculate so many things, and reality kicks in and says, no, you cannot do that.
I think I'm trying not to calculate things. I try to just take things at face value and this is what it is, and stop trying to over calculate and figure out everything that this might mean that the world shouldn't be that cryptic. Now, I know sometimes, you know, you got to look into
for me,
things.
It's difficult.
I know you've got to look into things, but like, I don't want to live in a world where everything is not what it is, you know? So like, I'm trying to calm down and be like, it is what it is. Move on. Yeah.
And you try and expect things because you like, you don't want to be caught off guard, you know? You just like, no, I expected this to happen. I saw this coming through. So it was going to happen, you know, but sometimes you overthink, you hurt yourself emotionally because that's what you're thinking, and you're just like driving your mind towards the thing instead of just having good thoughts at times. But look, the important thing here is just to have someone that speaks into your life, you know, just have a good, responsible leader, a Christian leader at least, someone that you can talk to, that you can express your feelings to, and just let them guide you and plan towards your future or whatever that you're trying to work out with your partner. So they will tell you that, no, wait, stop there, brother. This is not realistic. I mean, you can't say you're going to work 7 days a week and not take an off day because you want to raise money to get married. It's not going to work. It's not going to happen, actually. You can work, but your body's going to get tired. You're probably going to get into depression. Your body's just going to shut down like completely. So then they give you the realism that, okay, fine, look, in African culture, yes, they do want you to pay the bride's price. You know, you need to show the respect to the family. That is what the parents want. But at the same time, be realistic. Go with what you have. Do not do overkill and just throw all your money at them. You know, negotiate. They teach you some of these things that you would not know, and they give you some inside scoop. Whereas if you're just a young guy like me and you're just like overthinking, thinking, oh my God, they're probably going to ask for $1 million rands, which they wouldn't. But then you hear crazy stories about people saying this is what happened, this and that. You just need someone to talk to, someone who's experienced this, and just read Christian books. Forget about all these other books about, I know it's probably going to sound like I'm throwing shade at 50 Shades, but look, forget about these 50 Shades books, man. Like, stop fixing your life on these sexual books and how you please your partner. Read other things, man. There's much better things in life than just focusing on these physical and pleasure things, whereas you can just like grow yourself. You know, read a book, how to have a good marriage, how to have a good relationship with your family as well. most people nowadays just think about sex. Sex is life. They want to do this, how to please that? How do I satisfy myself even though I'm single? Forget about all of that, just read good stuff and focus on the good things.
I think it's important that you watch who speaks into your life, because not everybody that speaks into your life is speaking value into your life. Some people just speak their own experiences, and some of those experiences are bad experiences, and they just reflect that on you. But another thing I'm seeing here is that you say, let's talk about this thing about dreaming, about how much you actually should dream. Is there a limit? Like, yeah,
of dreams.
like, should they?
There isn't. I don't think there is. You could, like I said, look at me. Like I'm saying that my dream was 21. I'm gonna have a car, double-story house, a blonde lady in my house that I'm married to, and it didn't happen. But like you dream something, but then drive towards it. So don't just dream and just say, I wish I could have this, I wish I could have that, I wish I could. Some things you can only attain them when you move to a certain place. So for example, let's just say where you are living now, let's just say you live in the city where it's just buildings. You can dream to have a house, but then you obviously have to start gravitating towards living in the suburbs or in the outskirts areas where you can start planning and look at other houses, because wherever you are situated, most of the time that's what you're limiting your mind to. So you're cannot see past
where
that.
you situate is what you limit your mind to.
You just exactly same as keeping friends that are close to you that just sleep around. All you're gonna see in your life is just this is normal. We're just gonna sleep around. I'm not gonna get married. Why should I get married? Exactly, because people think having one partner is like the dumbest thing. You need to taste this, you need to taste that. That's what they say.
No.
And come on, the next time you taste something, it's sour, it's bad for you, and then you die, you get sick, or something happens to you, then now you want God to come into your life. And it's like, but you've been told before that don't do these things, but like what I'm saying is dreams, you cannot limit them, but just gravitate towards them.
I think so too. I think as well, just we need to analyze and consider how we deal with what I'll put in inverted commas failures. I take failure very harshly in my personality, and I don't think I'm the only one in the world that does it, but like, if I wanted something and I don't make it, the world has come crashing around me. It's the end of the world. I want to die. I want to cry. I am a failure. I'll never make it at anything because this one thing did not work out the way I wanted, no matter how big or how small, especially if someone else has to tell me that it sucks. Then, like, I've had to take a step back and realize that, firstly, why did it not work out? Because I didn't do this, that, the next thing, or I didn't put in as much effort as I could have. And okay, good. It's a lesson learned. And now, next time, I've got to do better, change the way I do things. And also, when I see something as a failure, I'm trying my best as possible to see it as a learning, as, okay, well, I've gotten some experience in this. Because for me, like, listen, it's been keeping your mind in check at the extent that you don't trash yourself, because I tend to trash myself if something doesn't work out. That for me is such a challenge.
I think, remember, Jaemii, on my first podcast as well, you asked me like, what is my biggest fear? And I told you the same thing. What you have, fear of failure. Like when I fail, my mind just shuts down. Like I'm just completely shut down. Like probably like the whole month, I just don't want to speak to anyone. I just don't want to do anything. I even forget about everything else, like for like even my studies, like, it's just like, okay, fine, you failed one module, go on to the next subject or whatever you can go on to. I'm just like, no, I failed one. That means I'm probably going to fail the rest of them. So I might as well just throw in the towel. That's something that I'm trying to learn and grow out of as well now.
I think sometimes I do the same, but like, which is the exact reason why you will fail the rest? Because you gave up. And it's not because you failed the first one, it's because you failed to get up afterwards. That is why you will fail the rest. I was just like, yeah, man. Anyway, we are coming to the end of the show, and we've got one last song for you before we sign out. But Mlindeni, any last words?
Nah, all I can just say is, look, just be realistic about your dreams. Get out there, explore. Like, take your mind out of, like, that one place that you've been in for too long. Try something new and have someone that speaks positive words. Forget about all these friends that tell you, nah, dating is overrated. Love is no. Just get someone good and meant to you.
Well, you know what? On my side, failure isn't the end, and if you didn't reach what you wanted to reach, romantically or whatever, up until this age, it's okay. It's okay. As Judge Judy says, if you didn't get it done in your 30s, do it in your 40s. If you didn't get it done in your 40s, do it in your 50s. If you didn't get it done in your 50s, do it in your 60s. And if you didn't get it done in your 60s, do it in your 70s. And you just keep it going. But this is Storm by Natasha Owens. You heard it first right here on Active FM. We're signing out. Peace out.
And God bless.
Like what you're listening to? Follow us on Gab and Twitter at ActiveFM, Instagram at ActiveFM777, and Facebook at /ActiveFM.
I hear thunder, I see lightning. Voices tell me to run and hide. But something stronger lives inside me. I won't bow down, and this is why I am the storm.